Hello everybody. We're here today with a May 26th update. We have a lot to cover today. My name again is Greg Wojtyla, Superintendent of North Tonawanda City Schools. And I'm going to cover what I think are some hot topics today, as well as cover some new things that are coming up with our summer programming and things like that that'll be coming. The first thing I'd like to go into is we've had some questions and concerns about outdoor sporting events and masks. So there's a lot going on with the CDC, and they even gave permission to some businesses to stop requiring masks. And we always know that outdoor is safer than indoors. So what happens then for school districts, because school districts are still required to wear masks, and when we work with sports, there's a couple organizations. So it's the Department of Health, which we met with and talked with on Tuesday, and there's also the New York State High School Sports Athletic Association. And they sent out an email on the 18th, which was last week, that said good news that we can open up. You don't have to have a ticket to come visit, one or two per player. Sporting events outside are opened up to more people who want to come. But it says yesterday Governor Cuomo announced masks are still required on public transit and nursing homes, in homeless shelters, schools, and healthcare facilities across the state in accordance with the new federal guidelines. To provide clarity, we're going to offer you some of the following guidelines. So, direction of our member schools, mask and face covering guides are still in place for interscholastic athletics, both outdoor and indoor. So I've done some research on this since we've gotten some calls after our last home lacrosse game. And it seems like that the Department of Health could give us guidance on that. So I put a call into him, but I have not gotten a call back from him yet. I've also heard from parents, which is not uncommon, that when we go other places, it's business as usual. So I text our small city school districts around us, Lockport, Niagara Falls, even Niagara-Wheatfield, and they're all telling me that they do have the same rule. They're all following it. So Erie County can set their own rules. Niagara County superintendents try to stick together on this. But we all agreed that if we got the guidance that we could lessen the restriction, that we would follow it. So unfortunately for everybody who doesn't like to wear a mask, the good news is you can come to our outdoor sporting events. The bad news is we're going to be asking you to wear a mask while you're there. So there's a few weeks left, but if we can get the Department of Health on board with us even later this week, we can make those adjustments going forward. I have talked with the athletic director, our school resource officer, as well on this topic, and while we know that no one's going to be arrested for not wearing a mask, we do know, though, you have to follow the school rules. So you could be asked to leave the event, and we know that that's not what some people want to hear, but school districts do have to follow some different rules, and we have stricter guidelines. So indoor, outdoor, I know you want to make a big difference between that, but for us right now, the guidance from New York State Sports Association for high school sports and the Department of Health is recommending we do that. Now, in some areas, and here we can do it as well, they changed the guidelines again. If you're going to be checking for, are you vaccinated, are you not vaccinated, is it 2 weeks, has it been since your last shot? We also get to look at things like, have you had COVID in the last 90 days, and you can show that, because then it says you won't contract the disease again. The school districts here have decided we didn't really want to get into that, because everyone's going to have some kind of different form of proof, and then you're going to have to be looking at their license, and that's even questionable with privacy laws about if people want to tell you if they were vaccinated or not. So we're in this gray area, and we're at the finish line. We only have 3 or 4 weeks of school left to go after the Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to ask everybody to please be patient with us, and we'll try to be patient and explain it to you if you have the questions when you're at our sporting events. But We know the kids like it when people can come visit them, and we do like it to have more people there. It just makes everything seem more real and more back to normal, which is our goal and what we're trying to get back to. So that's on masks and outdoor events, but I'm sure there'll be questions, and I'll get to them in a minute. Prom update is that they put a survey out to the children to say how many children would be interested in the prom if they could bring someone who wasn't a senior. And we have a little bit of wiggle room. We don't want to have to turn anybody away, so it's very important that if you have a child that is in that boat, that would have, like, they're dating someone who's an underclassman and want to bring them, that they fill out that survey. Because based on the numbers and the responses we get, we'll then let them know if that's a possibility for that to happen. We have to work within those guidelines as well, because when you're indoor and it's a catered food event, there's more restrictions there. So, but we do have some room, so we did put out that survey to try and see if we can accommodate more people at the prom. I also have gotten questions about daycare in the morning at Drake School. So it's got to be over 6-7 years ago, we switched to the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club to provide our before and after school programming for parents who need that because they're still working. And with those businesses, they try to not lose money, and so it's based on numbers. And Drake School, being one of our smaller elementary buildings, had not had a program in the school in the morning. They've been using the Ohio school, and then we provide transportation for them to go from Ohio to Drake when school starts. So I know there's a couple parents who, since school started back up, needed that at Drake, but in my last conversation with the YMCA, they will not be able to provide that this year. We will work with the Boys and Girls Club, the Y, or see if we can get another agency in there for that school over the coming summer, so that we can have something maybe different in September. All right, some maybe good news for you as well. It seems like our key to reopening is going to be numbers stay low, more people vaccinated, and everything stays status quo. So we know, if you've been watching the news, that students now from age 12 and up can get vaccinated, and that helps keep us open in September and get us open full steam ahead. And as part of that, Tops Friendly Market reached out to the North Tonawanda City School District and said they would like to provide vaccination shots for anybody ages 12 and up. And we will be scheduling that for June 9th from 1 to 6 p.m. at our Fine Arts Center, which is at 405 Meadow Drive between the middle school and the high school. And there is going to be a form online on our webpage that you can fill out. It is walk-in, so you'd have to fill out the forms there because you're talking about minors. They have to come with their parents. But if you're interested in that, we have lots of information that'll be up on the webpage. Again, it's going to be Wednesday, June 9th from 1 to 6 p.m. at our Fine Arts Center. And it's a walk-in program, but they do have some forms that need to be filled out. It looks like this. It has the Tops Pharmacy on it, and consent and administration records. So that can be downloaded online, but if you can't get it online and you want to come that day because you find yourself with a free spot, we'll have the forms there. And that's on a as-need basis if you and your family feel like that's something you want to pursue for yourself. We've had questions about Little Jack Literacy Lab, okay, is what we're calling it. This flyer here will be coming home tomorrow for all our Rising Up 1st through 6th graders. So if you finished kindergarten this year or finished 4th grade this year, you'll be able to come to a literacy program free of charge. It is 2 sessions, and there are no it's 4 days a week from 9 to 11. It'll be at our NTI intermediate building for all grade levels, and everyone who comes leaves with a lunch for that day to take home. And when you get the form, you can sign up for either session 1 or session 2 on the bottom and return that to school. So we hope we get a lot of people interested in that. This is the first time North Tonawanda is running something like this, and based on the interest we get, we may make adjustments to what grade levels and what times and how many sessions. But we're hoping to run 2 sections of each grade level for both sessions, and we're very excited about it. It's going to focus on literacy skills and get these our students here ready for the next grade level. So while it's kind of an intensive program, it's summer and we'll try to make it as fun. We got some fun topics to learn about over the summer, and we really are excited to get this up and running. We hope that everybody will take advantage of it if it fits into your summer schedule. The first session will be from July 6th through July 20th, and the second session is July 21st through August 5th. So this will probably be going home tomorrow. Like I said, we ran the copies today and sent them to the buildings to send home tomorrow on Thursday. And we ask that you send them back by June 8th. And then we'll be notifying you later in June if you were in the program and what session and all the details about it. So we're very happy to be able to offer that this year. Let me just see if I had anything else in here before I move to the questions. I think we covered it. Can we please send out a notice about whether masks are still required for parents at school pickup and drop off? It seems to be more and more parents are showing up without them. Thank you. So yes, we'll make it. I'll make the announcement now that when you're on school property, we ask that you wear a mask for everybody. I know that it seems like it's a 5-10 minute span that you're just going to be getting them or that, but if you get there early and you're waiting for your child to come out, we'll ask that you please do wear a mask. We're at the end, like I said, so I know everybody's anxious to get rid of those masks. We'll probably have a big burning party at some point in the city here to get rid of them. But with the reopening guidance that we got for schools, we're still required to wear them. And it just gets too confusing to say it's okay here, but it's not okay there. And we know that you want to stay safe, and it's not so much that you're spreading the disease without a mask or anything like that, but we don't want you to pick anything up either because we know the vaccine's not 100% either. So just be safe, work with us for the next 2-3 weeks, and we'll hopefully start without them in September. Guidance on prom, I just gave that. So if you have a student who has not bought a ticket for the prom yet, and they didn't do that because they wanted to take their boyfriend or girlfriend with them who's not a senior, they have to fill out the survey that was sent to them on Schoology, and then when we see the numbers, they'll be updating them on when and where they can buy tickets, and if we can open it up to more students for our prom. All right, so the link here is for the vaccination on June 9th, I believe I said it was. Yep, Wednesday, June 9th from 1 to 6 p.m. Okay. So, this person, Diane, is saying spectators do not need masks if vaccinated. I'm not disputing that if you are going to any kind of public area to watch an event. And more, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. On school property, just like I know it's outdoors, and we're going to have that argument till the end of the school year. But if you are vaccinated and you're going to travel through an airport, they're still going to ask you to wear your mask or show proof of vaccination. And we're not in the business of checking the proof for the next 3 weeks. That may be the way we have to go and get set up and have everybody get the Excelsior Pass or something on their phone that's standardized for September. But for right now, at school districts, we're requiring masks. Okay, let's see. I said North Tonawanda sports, not schools, so schools should be the same as the city. I'm not sure what that's referring to. State says you don't need them. He says, yes, spectators have to wear them, vaccinated or not. So there's a lot of confusing things. I don't point a finger at anybody except the state on this, because New York. The other problem is, right, New York State is different than Pennsylvania and Ohio. So every state did something different. The CDC is saying that fully vaccinated people should not have to wear masks. But then the governor comes out and he says a store owner or a restaurant owner can require you to wear a mask in their business if they want to, and you don't have to shop or eat in that restaurant if you don't want to. He also said that there are some areas still, even though CDC is saying you don't have to wear a mask if you're fully vaccinated, such as schools and hospitals and other areas that you have to. So when we went to sports, the whole association looked at it, and the guidance that I read you from May 18th is that for both indoor and outdoor sports, guidelines are still in place for interscholastic athletics to wear masks. So until that changes for us, and as soon as it does, I'll be the first one to shout it out to all of you. And I did put a call into the Department of Health to see if we can work on that. Let me see what he's saying here, because I just got an answer back from him. Nope, that was a different Dan. Okay, so as soon as I get an answer back from Dan Stapleton and work on that, I'm sure all the superintendents in New York County would agree that we could do something different outdoors. But until then, we're keeping the rule. Please reiterate about the end of year tests for middle school. I need a little bit more, Michelle, because they would be by subject in the classroom. They're in their district tests, and they're going to be giving them. They're not going to be really during an exam week. There are a couple of Regents exams that are there, and the middle school will be going later than ever this year with regular classes. So, is there any word on whether they will be opening up indoor sports spectators to more than 2? So that's a limit, right? So indoor sports right now is 2. You don't need a ticket to get in, and I can let you know what areas we have and what sports we have going on and how many can fit. I know that's going to be, so if you have an indoor event, like say our Fine Arts Center that can seat 900 plus people, depending on the type of event and if they can be 6 feet apart, those types of things. At a sporting event, it's a little bit different, so I'll get the latest guidance and let you know on that. Why sports outdoors, you have to wear a mask, but for graduation ceremony, you won't need it if vaccinated? Well, that's not what we're doing here. If you come to the graduation ceremony, you will be wearing a mask, but we're not stopping anybody from coming. So if a student only has a elderly grandparent, let's say, and a mom left that they want to bring to them, and for some reason one of those people were not getting the vaccine, they can come unvaccinated and wear a mask because everybody will be wearing a mask. So graduation will be open. We'll have the kids on the field, and the parents and the spectators will be in the stands, 2 per child, and everybody will be wearing a mask. Kids aren't at as risk, so no one should be vaccinating children when this is still a trial vaccine and not yet approved. May have been addressed already, but will school be open 5 days a week next school year? That is the plan. That we're getting closer and closer to guidance on that from the state and everything. So right now, that is the plan. If we get an outbreak or a different variant of the COVID-19 and things shift in July, we'll be online telling you what changed and why. But right now, that's our plan. My son has some last week and a day of school, 8th grade. I know for sure Spanish is one of them. My son has some the last week and a day of school. So there are final exams. They should be given during the class period. If you have a question specific to a schedule, like for an exam on a non-school day, You could probably easily ask that through Schoology to the building principal, and he will give you that schedule because I don't have that memorized. Let's see. There's a document here. America's Frontline. CDC says vaccinated people don't need to wear a mask. Again, Diane, I'm not disputing. That is what the CDC says. The CDC says that, and then the states change it, and they say, yes, except if you're going here, there, here, wherever. The big thing I think people are missing is when you have a large event, like I just heard on the radio this morning, that art parks outdoor concerts this summer will not require people to wear masks if they can show positive proof of a vaccine and that it's been at least 2 weeks and that it's not expired and blah, 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 blah. And they have a guideline on what you have to show. Right now, school districts aren't getting into that checking business because we don't know what is accepted and what's not. And the schools have to run a little bit different. It's no different than you don't have to wear a mask, but if you take a flight, the airlines are going to require you to wear a mask. I know that's indoor, and we're talking about outdoor sports, but it's still, what I'm saying is there's variance to the rule, and one of the rules for schools is that if you're on school property, just like there's no smoking on school property, even though the CDC probably says you can buy cigarettes and smoke, there's no smoking on school property. So if the CDC says you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated, but if you're on school property, you have to wear a mask. That's the rules we have for picking up kids. That's the school rules we have for sports. That's the rules we have for instruction. And I think that's going to last till the end of June. And hopefully in September, all this is gone and we're back to normal. We don't have to waste any time talking about masks or no masks. Will the kids be returning iPads over the summer, or will they be keeping them like last summer? Most will be keeping them. Some will be turning them in because they're going to a new building and the iPads are attached to a building. So it will not be uncommon for third graders to turn them in. They'll get a new one in fourth grade that'll take them through 4th through 6th. Sixth graders will turn in their iPads, and when they get to 7th grade, they'll get a new iPad that will take them 7 through 12. So that's how we have it set up, and it's a good plan because iPads get old and there's new systems that come out. So whenever we're doing that, we get new ones for the new incoming students, and then we don't have old devices that can't do what we're asking them to do. So again, that's a good one that'll be out on Schoology or Seesaw very soon to let you know. At the K3 buildings, there may be exception to that because we had to beg, borrow, and steal to get iPads to get everybody one-to-one this year for this COVID learning, and some of those are old and outdated. So if it's an old and outdated one in your building at kindergarten through 3rd grade, they may be collecting them to give them a new one. All right, let's see. With the kids returning, okay. Social studies on 6/14, science on 6/15, math ELA. Someone's telling you the schedule, I think, for testing. It's not confusing, you're making it confusing. Take it up with the state, not our superintendent. Hello, he's our voice. I thought you said ELA and math. I'm talking about outdoors. I was just saying, I thought you said that there would be end of year exams except for math and ELA. So I was just trying to clarify as he has one and oh, okay. So I did say there would be no Regents exams for all of the subjects. The Regents exams did streamline them down to English, math, science, social studies. If you are in any grade level, a teacher can give a final assessment, and so it's a district final assessment. That's probably what they're calling it, but it's not a Regents exam unless they're in a Regents course that is being offered. And Regents are optional. Final exams in a school, like a test, a chapter test, is not optional. So this year, the Regents exams are optional, and we do have a lot of kids opting to take them, more than we thought. And it's Regents exams only that are the ones that aren't required this year. I'm sure they'll get back to being required in future years. There will not be any kindergarten graduation formal kind of thing. There will be events taking place at each building for kindergarten in-house, which is kind of a end of the year celebration. All right, so I'm going to start to recap, and then I'll check questions one more time. I think we beat the dead horse with the masks outdoors and indoors, and I know I can't make everybody happy on that, and I'm sorry. But as soon as I get any more lenience or guidance that I can open that up, we will let you know about that. The summer little literacy program, look for this flyer to come home, color flyer like this to come home, and if those times and dates work for you, we'd love to get as many students in this summer and work with them on reading and literacy and make it a fun summer for them while they're learning. And don't forget about visiting our website. If you are interested in vaccinating yourself or your child or anyone in your household, really, it'll be here on Wednesday, June 9th from 1 to 6 p.m. And it's walk-in, but you will need to fill out the form. So that might take a little bit longer if you come without the form filled in. So just keep that in mind. Okay, thank you. What kid of a ticket? I'm not, Diane, what is what kid of a ticket? I'm not sure what that means. When is the last day of Boces? Boces, I'm assuming, will be the 16th, 15th or 16th of June. I'll make sure that they post that in Schoology for our students at the high school who are doing that. But Regents exams that students choose to challenge and take this year will start on the 17th, and Boces will not be in session from the 17th on. I'll have to double check what their final day is with their contract. Okay, random information for anyone who needs it. The last day of lunch breakfast pickup will be the June 16th, which is a Wednesday. So the yellow sheet's coming home tomorrow because kids are not in today, and we ran the copies today, and they will be bringing them home Thursday. The dates of the summer program for session 1 are July 6th through July 20th, and session 2 is July 21st to August 5th. But the sheets did not go home yet. We ran them today, and I have a copy of it here to show you on Facebook Live, and students will be bringing them home tomorrow. So watch for this tomorrow. We thank you for always sharing this afterwards. If you get to watch this after at a later time, feel free to still type in a question. I do watch them from the rest of the week. I get notifications, and I either type an answer back or I will send it to the building to answer you specifically. Covered a lot of good data. We have a lot of good things coming for the end of the school year, with hopes that September will be back to normal. 5 days a week, and fingers crossed for no masks if this COVID goes away. All right, thank you everybody. Have a great, safe day, and I will see you next week.